What's going on YouTube? So today we're going to take a look at the best inside the 13 offense in the entire game. I say inside the 13 instead of inside the 20 just because as far as route depth, 13 so far is really the maximum that I've found. Now, one of the worst things about Madden 21 is that you get into the red zone and let's say you have a post route and he reaches the back of the end zone and turns around, faces the quarterback. He's completely wide open. You throw him the ball, and you have no idea what's going to happen. He might run to the left. He might run to the right. He might run right down straight towards you into a underneath defender. It is completely unpredictable. And today what I'm going to show you is something that is completely predictable, and it's going to take your red zone offense to new heights. This is why we see in Madden 21 when someone gets down inside the 10 or even outside like the 15, they just run the ball, and if they can score from running the ball, then that's great. But if they can't, they'll just kick a field goal and that's it. They're just going to run the ball inside the 15, and that's just something everyone does. So today we're going to look at the formation tight offset tight end, which is really just going to be a formation that we're going to show the lesson from. I have a full scheme out of trips tight end with a lot of different setups that I'm going to focus on, and we're going to show that, but that's much longer of a video. So we're just going to show you how everything works out of tight offset tight end. Now, when I first found this, I thought to myself, tight formations might be the best way to take advantage of it. So I kind of schemed up tight offset tight end, tight doubles on, and tight flex, things like that. I've actually known about this for about 3 months. I posted on Twitter about 3 months ago saying I had the best red zone offense in the entire game, but I haven't played Madden since. I haven't played Madden in 3 months. I really just don't like the game. It's boring without any playbook updates. But there is a regs tournament coming up, and I play regs. So I figured, why not show this for that? So let's get into everything, beginning with the route that actually got it all started. Not from this formation, but it is the route that made me realize what I was onto. So let's take a look. So first of all, let's take a look at circle and see that he hits the back of the end zone and then runs straight over the middle. Now let's take a look at it again, and we'll see that the route is actually the angle route by circle. This is the route that started everything for me out of single back bunch. Now I'm actually going to show gameplay at the end of this for the gun trips tight end. I'm just going to show just in practice mode like all the setups and everything that you need to know. So I figured I'd teach it to you here and show some actual gameplay footage of me running it in real games. There's not much, but there's enough, and we will go from there. Now in this particular play, Saints in, I personally love it because the spacing and the level concept is unbelievable. But one thing that we need to do is we need to put square on a drag when we run this play, because of the fact that square is actually a zone beater, where if it's zone coverage, he will stop around the 10-yard line and just run a curl. So I like to re-drag him. And I don't know if I actually throw to the drag right now. I think I do. No, I don't. I throw it to the back of the end zone again for the glitchy route. We are going to just focus on these glitchy routes, but once in a while I will actually throw to some of these underneath routes. And the reason is because, and this is what I do here, when we play in practice mode, they don't play underneath coverage. They just don't. The only way they'll ever play underneath coverage is if it's a cover 2 hard flat, a cover 3 hard flat. It's got to be hard flat in the name, or else it's going to play deep coverage. And one thing we know about Madden is when you get in the red zone, everybody, unless they just keep a default, everybody plays underneath coverage. And if they do, we're going to roast them with this concept. Especially once you start playing mind games, they like, oh man, he's beat me underneath. So then they play over the top coverage or just leave everything as is. That's when you can start to throw drags, hitches, routes like that to beat them underneath. And this is just happens to be just one example. So you throw it underneath and we get, almost the touchdown. But now let's get back to what I love about this play, and that is the spacing of a high-low read between circle, X, and R1. Now for me, like I'm old. Like I'm so old now. I'm like 15 years older than the next oldest competitive player. Like that's how old I am. So take it for what it's worth. I can't read square and then go back to triangle. Like I can do it if those are the only two reads, but if I try to add anything else into that, like it's impossible. So for me, I love routes that are right in one area of the field. Like you can focus on one area and get a levels concept or a high-low concept within that. And this is the absolute perfect combination between circle, X, and R1. So we see that circle's going to the back of the end zone. He is about to be covered. And then we see R1's covered, so X, right? Well, you have to assume that one of these is the user. We know that the user loves to play the middle of the field. And if he's playing the middle of the field, he can't protect all this. He can't protect R1, X, and circle. Like, that's impossible. So I see that X is running wide open. The guy defending him is actually running in the opposite direction. So we just take that and we throw that easy touchdown. Now, it's obviously not going to be that simple with a user there, but you know that the user is going to be in the middle of the field. So now, let's get back to the main focus of this, which is the glitchiness of the red zone offense, which is circle. When he hits the back of the end zone, he does not stop and unpredictably curl and go to the left or the right. He's going to go exactly where we think he's going to go, which is all the way across the back of the end zone. He gets to the back of the end zone. He will run to that sideline where triangle is if you let him. He just runs directly across. So we sneak that ball in there because there was only one defender on the far sideline. And now let's do it again. Time and time again, he will do the exact same thing. Get to the back of the end zone and run directly across. Now, at the end of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a screenshot of me with tight offset tight end and all of the plays and the route depths that you need. So here I'm on the 12-yard line. So in the route depths, what you're going to see is it says inside the 13-yard line for circle. Circle inside the 13. What that means is anything inside the 13, he is guaranteed to run across the back of the end zone. If you run this on the 12, he's going to run across every single time. If you run it on the 13, well, he might run across and he might not. That's the risk you're going to take. If you run this on the 14-yard line, he will 100% not run across the back of the end zone. He will stop and he will be completely unpredictable. So that's why we're going to take a look at all these different depths. Now, I'm not just saying that he's only going to do this from the 12. If you run this on the 7, the 6, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, like anything inside the 13, he will run a speed in or a speed out when he gets to the back of the end zone. That's what's glitchy about this. Watch. They run at a certain speed, and then as soon as they hit the back of the end zone, boom, it becomes a speed in or a speed out, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I just love that circle to X to R1. You just read that. Look at that. Just, it's so easy for the eyeballs. Just one area of the field, attack it, and there's nothing they can do. So now we're going to take a look at the play. I think it's mesh spot. Now the running back route on this play is really nice. You can hit that route out of the backfield if they don't play underneath coverage. But again, this is where the mind game is going to come in. You're going to beat your opponent so much after they're playing underneath coverage in the red zone, they're going to have to start to adjust. And that's when you're going to start to hit them underneath. So that running back is good, but we're going to block. And we've got 2 underneath drags and a really nice sit-down route with circle. Now here again, we're on the 12-yard line. This time, though, we're looking at triangle on the corner route. So instead of attacking the middle of the field, and remember, our opponent has no idea what play we're running at. Let's say we're inside the 12 at any position. He doesn't know if we're going to run the post route by circle. He doesn't know if we're going to run the corner route by triangle. Not to mention all the other routes I haven't even gotten into. But let's take a look at triangle and see what he does. He gets a delay because the guy bumps into him, and he just, boom, speed out right to the sideline. Right to the sideline. Now, if there's no defender over top of him, he's going to get a free release, which means he's going to run it even faster. So it's going to be way better. But sometimes he will get caught up, especially in a tight formation like this. So that is something that you have to kind of peek on. But he is going to run right to the back of the end zone. And then once he hits the back of the end zone, he's going to turn it into a speed out. And then look at the spacing. X, square, and then circle for a low pass over the middle. A speed out to triangle. Insane. We got the post. We've got this corner route. I mean, look at this. And then if you see circles open, you're just going to take it. The problem is, of course, the user, right? The user is usually over the middle. So that's where it gets complicated. You're going to have to make some reads, stuff like that. But triangle gets caught up a little bit, then boom, speed out. It's stupid. For whatever reason, I don't know why, I just always come up with the best red zone offense in the game. I just always do. I don't even understand it. It just falls in my lap somehow, some way. It's crazy. So anyway, we're showing this on the right hash. We're going to move over to the left hash, and we're going to take a look and see how everything works. The hash doesn't matter. You don't need to be on the right hash. You don't need to be on the left. There might be some advantages, some disadvantages, depending on what happens. As you see right there, I'm throwing into coverage, but it's only Marcus Williams, and we've got Evans. So, I mean, we're going to take that all day long. But in a case like this, where the defender is flat-footed and not chasing him, once he gets to this spot, like once he gets even, we're leaving. That's the general concept when you run streak routes. When you're even, you're leaving. Well, same goes against zone coverage when you're playing like this. When they get flat-footed, when you get even, you're going to be able to just take advantage, throw the ball, get right to the outside on a speed out, back of the end zone in the corner, and it's a touchdown. It's just absolutely fantastic no matter what hash mark you are on. Look at this. He gets caught up. Doesn't matter. So, boom. Touchdown. It's like taking candy from a baby. Wait till you see the gameplay footage, which I will commentate. It's stupid. Stupid. So now we're going to look at the 7-yard line. Now we're on the 7-yard line, which for this play bench is the maximum depth that you can be at. For all these plays, what I'm looking at is I'm just showing examples of the maximum depth. You will see in the screenshot all of the maximum depths for every route. Triangle. You're going to assume, because we're looking at corner routes and post routes, that this route will go to the back of the end zone and go to the corner. However, he is not. He is going to do exactly what we hate, which is he's going to get to the back of the end zone, he's going to sit down, and then when we go to throw the ball, he's just going to randomly fucking move to some stupid direction that we have no idea, and it's probably going to end up in an interception. You try to throw it to the outside left, he goes to the outside right. Throw it to the outside right, he goes left. You try to throw it a high ball in the back of the end zone, and he comes back to the quarterback, and the underneath defender picks it off. It's so stupid. But, I mean, this is just amazing. So, Now we're going to take a look at the tight end. The tight end route is the one that we want to focus on, and this is where it gets really nice and glitchy. High passes to tall tight ends like Gronk, like a 6'6" or whatever. I don't know what the height is. I haven't done it like an insane amount where it's like I know every in and out. But if you have a tall guy like Gronk and you high pass in the back of the end zone, it's not going to get picked. It is not going to get picked. It's going to be maybe 1 in 100 or 150 times it'll get picked, if that. Let's take a peek at this. So we have a defender in front of Gronk. It's going to slow his process a little bit. Let's take a look at what happens. See, it kind of slows him. He has to run like this. But we get him flat-footed, and we're like, oh, where are we going to throw it? And look at Triangle, just sitting down like an idiot. But watch. We throw this high bullet to the tight end, getting to the outside, and look where the circle is. That's where the ball's going to go. This is to the tight end or nobody. The tight end or nobody. High point passes to the back of the end zone in the corner are impossible to pick. You're going to get different animations. You're not always going to get that one. But, I mean, this is just not going to get picked. It's just not. I know this is only practice. In games, whatever. Even if you're a guy like Drini has the best click-on in all of Madden. He's proved it time and time again. He's not picking this. It's going to go, and then he's going to click on. You can't pick that. It's going to pull you into some bullshit animation, and you're just going to be taken completely out of the play. Or, if you don't click on, this is what's going to happen. Look where the circle is. The defender stands no chance, especially when he's flat-footed. These are the types of things you need to be looking at, right? You need to look at the defender, how he's playing. So look at the guy that's on Triangle. See now, okay, this is perfect. Guys, this is perfect. So look at what Triangle does. He actually ends up running across the back of the end zone. But before, he ran the curl. He wasn't guaranteed to run in the back of the end zone. So the depths that I'm showing you is a guarantee that that route will run across the back of the end zone. You still might get it in a situation like this with Triangle where he might run across the back of the end zone. But if you try and time it and throw it before he like really starts to break, it could be an interception. That's the risk you take. But just look at this. Just boom, right in the back of the end zone. I mean, it's like taking candy from a baby. It really is. Just back of the end zone, flat-footed. Oh, actually, I was just trying to show an example of if they played, like, over-the-top coverage, what you could do. Because it's a bench concept, right? So if they play over the top, you can take some of that underneath stuff. You just have to kind of read the play. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at the play Y out, which you want to block the running back. But this play is stupid. This is stupid. Now we are on the 5-yard line, so we don't have the best depth. Like, we can't get out to the 13 and run this play. But we can actually take advantage of circle, triangle, and X, which is just so stupid. Well, let's start off with circle. Let's see what circle does. He gets to the back of the end zone, boom, speed in. We kind of threw it at a defender. We kind of threw it at a defender, but that's okay. Gets to the back end zone, speed in. Watch, boom, in, touchdown. But what were the other two routes doing? What was triangle doing? What was X doing? Get to the back of the end zone. Look at circle all the way, like speed in, speed out, and then even X out. I mean, how are you going to stop that? If they have to play underneath coverage, how do you stop that? Let's take a look at it again. Speed in, speed out, speed out. Back of the end zone, high point pass, touchdown. Guys, this works in a game. This works in a game even better because they don't play underneath coverage in practice mode against a computer with no second controller. They just don't do it. So I didn't want to go into practice with two controllers and just play underneath coverage all day and just show you, because that would be every route would be open by a mile. Honestly, You'll see it in the gameplay footage that I show. Now, X doesn't always get to the back of the end zone. As you can see right here, he's not actually in the back of the end zone, but he does run to the outside. So it goes circle speed in, triangle speed out, and then X is a bit of a speed out. I do prefer when they get right to the back of the end zone, like circle and triangle, but X is still good enough. However, I think I messed up this pass and I didn't high point it. Oh no, actually I did high point that one. I did. There's another pass where I think I kind of mess it up and he kind of comes down a little bit. But, I mean, this is how, like, you can stop this, obviously. But thinking realistically, like, how are you going to stop this? If you have to play underneath coverage, and then if you don't, they're hitting drags and hitches and everything underneath, how are you going to stop this? Speed out, speed in, and see, like, X is slower. He's a tight end. If he gets caught up on the line, let's take a look at this again. Yeah, if he's got a defender over him and gets caught up, he's got to make that extra move. He's going to be behind, but that's not always a bad thing. That's not always a bad thing because it allows us to read circle, allows us to read triangle. Then you can go all the way over to X if that area is vacated. You know, it kind of gives you a little bit of extra time, especially for a guy like me. I can't make all the reads, right? So I kind of need that extra little time, but I mean, boom. It's crazy. So that is what we're looking at today, and we're going to finish off with this play, I think, X spot or whatever. And again, if they don't play that underneath coverage, if they play over top, it's crazy. They're going to play over the middle of the field, so circle's likely going to be covered, something like that. But if he's not, as you can see, he's wide open. If they play over the top coverage or just leave it as default, like you see right here, this table route is going to be wide open. That's not to say that they can't Mabel it. Certainly they can Mabel a side with the running back, but you can also motion the running back to the other side, and, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do. So that is one example of playing over the top coverage or default coverage and just hitting the underneath route. Now we're going to switch hashes, and you're going to see the tight end route. It takes a bit of time to get there. We are on the 10-yard line or 9-yard line. But watch, he gets there, and boom. And I mean, look at this. Hold on. This game sucks so bad. Watch the outside defender. We throw the ball, and he glitches. This is a high point pass, right? We high point it. He glitches back towards the running back. And look at where the circle is. And look at where the ball is. It's not getting picked. It's not. It's just not. Look at this. I love this offense so much. So this is the beginning of what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to get into some gameplay footage. Different animations in the back of the end zone. Absolutely love this. I just love it. Like, look at this. That happens in game too, guys. This isn't just practice mode. This is not a product of just practice mode. Now look at triangle. He's on the corner route as well. But see, his route doesn't do the same. He's going to end up coming back, and watch. He's surrounded by guys, but he technically is wide open. If we high point that to the back of the end zone, that should be a catch. But he might end up running to the left into the two defenders. He might run to the right into the deep single safety. He might come back right to the quarterback, and the underneath guy's going to pick it. That's a complete travesty. That should not happen. So we're going to use this and take a look again. The defender's flat-footed because he's in zone coverage. We just throw it. Look at where the circle is. They're not going to pick that. They can't pick that. They can't. Just like, you guys thought high point passing was done. High point passing is not done. So now we're going to get into the gameplay. There isn't a ton of gameplay, but we're going to start with the formation gun trips tight end, then we're going to move to single back bunch. So as you can see here, we're on the 3-yard line. X and circle are the primary routes. We've got R1 on a table, and we've got this smoke screen by square just to pull down any type of zone for circle. And then, of course, a drag. I mean, drag's like the best route, not only in Madden, but just in football. So this is a really nice route combination. You can read R1 really quick to see if they play over the top. And if they don't, which they won't because this is a real game, it's on the 3-yard line, and nobody on planet Earth doesn't play underneath coverage on the 3-yard line. So take that for what it's worth. Now let's take a look at what happens here. And I mean, dude, these guys are running free across the back of the end zone because it's underneath coverage and there's nothing they can do. Okay, watch again. Watch how quickly these speed outs and speed ins are. First, let's take a look at circle. Speed out. Boom. That's stupid. Let's take a look now at the speed in by the tight end, Kelsey. He comes to the inside, but he's covering him, but he goes to the inside so fast. That's in slow motion. He cuts the inside so fast that it's game over. Now we're going to take a look at curl flat from the 1-yard line and trips tight end. I can do anything here. I can run the ball. I can do whatever. So we go hitch, we go flat, and curl route along with old. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do here. But let's take a look and see what we focus on. Square sits down in the back of the end zone. No, I mean, dude, I can hit anything here. I mean, he's not even covering anything. So we just end up going to the tight end on a high point because, again, he's not a moron. It's on the 1-yard line. He has to play underneath coverage. It's a high point. Now, I'm not saying this is the best coverage in the world, but look where the circle is. This is not getting picked. And look at what Square did. Look at what Square did. Look at where he is in the back of the end zone. If we throw that, I mean, that's a nightmare, dude. That's a nightmare. We still can throw it. Like, we can try and high point. There's stuff he can try to do, but it's a nightmare. We're going to throw the high point to the unguardable tight end. Tight ends in this are insane. Now we've got 2 speed outs, because we're going to call these speed outs because that's what they are, and 2 slants underneath. Now the reason I love slants is because I'm going to tell you something right now. I wish I didn't have to say this, but man defense does kind of stop this a little bit, but it depends on who your receivers are. Like if you've got Devontae Parker and he's running this, he's going to get stopped probably because he doesn't have the speed. But if you got Tyreek Hill, he's unguardable. He's going to, if it's man coverage, he's going to beat it. If it's Travis Kelce, he's going to beat it, especially considering that we can high point and they're not going to get picked. If it's Sammy Watkins, I don't know. I forget what his speed is, but he might get stopped. But like a Mecole Hardman, he's not going to get stopped. Like certain guys will get stopped if they don't have speed or route running, but other guys are just going to win constantly. So let's take a look at what happens. We go underneath, and look, he's just playing underneath coverage. 2 speed outs. Who do we throw to? Do we throw to circle? Do we throw to X? We end up throwing a circle. Easy touchdown. Easy. Now we're going to motion this guy over. It looks like they might be blitzing, so we motion block. Now we've got the 2 speed outs in the back of the end zone. And again, look at the tight end is covered. This is Kelsey. They manned him up. But it's Kelsey. It's not some Joe Blow. I can't even think of a tight end's name right now that is just not fast and doesn't have anything. We didn't even high point that. We just threw a regular pass. And that's a touchdown. Now we've got 2 kind of underneath routes, and then we've got a speed out and a speed in from the 3-yard line. Of course, they're going to play underneath coverage, and when they do, look at where everyone is. There's no way they can stop this. We just read the field, and it's like taking candy from a baby. Absolutely love this. Now, I forget what play this is. This is not inside cross. This is a play that Square is on his default in route. I'm going to show you everything from trips tight end, so don't worry about that. I forget what play this is, though. But he runs, and like he just runs across the back of the end zone. I mean, look, dude. Okay, think about the unpredictability. Think about when you're in a game, and you know that this guy runs this route, but you're like, he gets to the back of the end zone from, like, if he gets back to the end zone and I'm on the 8-yard line, he's going to stop, and then I have no idea what he's going to do. I am completely clueless. I don't know what he's going to do. It's completely unpredictable. I can't depend on it. He can go in any direction. I could end up throwing a pick. That's terrible. But from a certain depth, you can fully know that he is going to run to the inside. So watch. He gets to the back of the end zone. He does not stop. He runs directly across, away from all the coverage. 3 guys out there, away from all the coverage. Easiest touchdown on the planet. Now, the other thing is, one thing I love about slants is, again, now we're on the 3-yard line, and we like the fact that we know that Square is going to run across. However, that's Sammy Watkins there. And if they do end up playing man coverage on that guy, he's going to get stopped because it's only Sammy Watkins. So what I love to do is I love to have a slant route that destroys man across the middle. We've got X on a flat, circle on a slant. We got triangle on a flat in case they play over the top. We motion over the running back, for some extra little juice there for zone beaters, man beaters, whatever. Look, he ends up playing man coverage. Did Sammy Watkins beat his guy? See, that would have been close, right? It would have been close. But look at Hardman's like, yeah, touchdown. Easy. Now we're doing the same thing, except we're blocking the running back. This time we've got Tyreek Hill on the outside. He runs across. Dude, come on. Get the hell out of here. I don't even remember what route. Is this inside cross? This might be inside cross. It looks like that square route might be inside cross. He got bumped a little. Okay, that wasn't. I don't even know why that plays in here because that was terrible. So you've seen some examples of trips tight end. You've seen the stupid ridiculousness that this offers. I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know, but I am going to do another video, and we're going to go back to single back bunch where this all started. It was this angle route by Square. I was running under center, single back bunch. I was blocking the tight end for extra protection, and this route was so insane that I didn't even look at circle ever. I didn't even look at him. I literally would snap the ball. I waited to see how fucking glitchy Square was, and then just threw him the ball. The reality is that circle on his route completely fucks this play up inside like the 11, 12, 13 yard line. He runs right into Square, and I didn't even notice it. You're going to see because Square is so obscene. Just boom. And he just ran that speed in that I just kept focusing on him and just kept hitting him over and over. And meanwhile, Circle is wide open too. And look at Circle's fucking wide open. I never even saw him because I'm looking. This is how bad my reads are. Because I'm looking at Square thinking, man, this guy is glitchy as hell. And just kept throwing to him over and over. Look again. Square. These guys are running right into each other and I didn't even see it because I'm so focused on Square. So I'm going to let this play out so you can see it at speed. Boom. It's so stupid. Again, look at Square's on his route. Look at Circle. Boom. I just kept throwing this. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, look at these routes. Like, he's just getting to the back of the end zone and just destroying these guys. It was crazy. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I just focused on this. All I knew is that I was blocking the tight end and I was throwing the fucking Square. And if they covered him, I was throwing to the drag or the running back underneath. That's what I was doing. Now, if you're going to run this play, normally you're going to want to put square, the guy on the lone side. You're going to want to put him on a hitch, maybe a drag, something like that. Maybe a drag and change the drag by the other tight end, the second tight end. Something like that. You can mix it up, but certainly do not leave them on the same route like you're seeing me do right here. This is bananas. But I just kept doing it because it was so fucking glitchy. I couldn't get enough of it, and I didn't even care what happened to square. Now, if you run this on the 30-yard line, well, circle becomes a really nice read, especially against cover 3 over the middle underneath the safety. And then square coming in across, like that's a really glitchy route combination. It's really nice, and I like how the play just works within that just by itself. But inside like the 10, the 12, the 13, it's a really, really bad route combination. So let's take a look at it one more time. He gets to the back of the end zone, cuts in at speed like insane, and it's a touchdown. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Easily the best inside the 13 until we find a route that is even deeper than the 13. It's the best offense in the game.